You are listening to a CJSW podcast. For more podcast initiatives, visit our website at cjsw.com/podcasts.
The following CJSW program, Am I Right?, contains foul language and mature content. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome everybody to this week's edition of the Am I Right podcast.
It's the Am I Right podcast, episode 5, and guess what?
It's the first Am I Right classic.
Am I Right classic.
It's the first weekend that our slap-ass dick nuts
Whoa.
producers couldn't track down an interview.
I tried my best. I tracked one down. We just got canceled on.
I was trying to
But you know
make
what?
it sound
Hey,
like
you
we
know
had
what?
people.
Forget it.
I was trying to make it sound like we had people.
I just
and
want you
now they
to. I
know
just
that
want you
we've
to say
everything
who's
ourselves.
on. I just want you to say who's on so that people can get excited.
It's the Norm Macdonald interview.
Norm
It's funny.
Macdonald. It's hilarious.
It truly is a great place to start Am I Right classics.
Oh, but you know what I'm scared of?
Tell me.
There's nowhere to go but down. Slightly. Like it's only a short drop in the Am I Right pantheon.
Maybe next week we drop the Margaret Cho interview. I don't know.
Stay tuned for Norm Macdonald this week on the Am I Right podcast. All right, so this is the first episode of Am I Right Classics. Is this Am I Right Podcast 5, or should we call it like
Am I Right Classics 1?
Am I Right Classics 1?
And hopefully it's one of many few.
I know what you meant by many few.
Many few wasn't even correct.
But it makes sense. It makes sense.
Grammatically.
But you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense emotionally.
Very few.
It makes sense emotionally. I knew what you were getting at.
We want to bring you new interviews.
Yeah,
we want to bring you new content. We don't want to show you our year's worth of awesome interviews. Those are supposed to be just for me and Evan.
Exactly. These are for our archive. So we're kind of like letting you in.
Archives.
This is like we're Dick, and these are Dick's picks. This is
totally like the Grateful Dead. You're right.
This is like Jess's best.
Yeah.
Does that
Can
rhyme
we
enough?
call it that?
Yeah. Well,
Jess's Best, Volume 1?
Yeah, but
plus 7?
But there must be like a Wills one or something like that would work. Will's Pills? No, I don't care. We can stick with Jess's Best.
Yeah, plus 7.
Plus 7. Jess's Best plus Evan, number 1, Norm Macdonald. There's actually a little bit of a backstory behind why we picked Norm Macdonald today.
We were going to have Leahy on from Trailer Park Boys.
Or we were going to have some... We don't need to say who we were going to have on.
Well, Leahy dropped out on us, but we'll get him soon.
Right.
See, we don't burn our bridges here. We don't say, oh, this guy dropped us, what a dick. I don't think he's a dick.
You just call the producer, me,
yeah,
a jerk.
You know, it's like things happen, you know. So what if he's got like diphtheria or something? I don't know.
I think he was actually on the stage when we called. Actually, I called the wrong number at one point, and I let the phone ring and ring and ring and ring. And then some lady picked up and said, I can't talk right now. And you could hear someone at church in the background, which was actually really nice.
Yeah, so see, things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Wills makes a bad phone call. People get sick. That's cool. We'll have him on whenever.
So we tried Plan B.
Plan B. We've got Norm Macdonald's phone number. We tried to give him a call.
And then...
And no answer.
No answer. So we thought, well, time is running out.
Yeah, so here it is. First Am I Right Classic, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, or are you introducing it right now, or are you just saying kind of that's what we said to each other?
I'm not sure. It could go either way.
Okay, well, so should we just start the interview now?
Yeah, just hit play.
All right, awesome. Here is Norm Macdonald.
Love you guys.
See you soon.
What's twittering?
Come on, Evan. Don't do this.
I won't do. Jesse, you go ahead. You explain it.
Twitter is this internet thing where you just say about yourself every 2 seconds. So like Evan is annoying Norm, and it's like okay.
Yeah, that's
and
what
then
mine says
everyone
right
would
now.
go, oh, cool.
Oh, so it's a real time.
Do you know when it's like it's like a brain fart receptacle. So if you think of something that you think is funny, you just write it, and then people think you're an asshole. It's kind of how it's worked for me.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. Yeah. Totally.
All right, so should Norm, are you ready for the interview here? Do you have like a time limit or anything like that we should be aware of, or?
Nah, somebody's supposed to phone me at some point, but
I think that was us. So yeah, I guess we got you now. So
Such idiots.
yeah, sorry. It's college radio. Did they tell you it was college radio, Norm?
Where are you guys?
Calgary.
Oh, sweet, man. I used to live in Calgary.
Really?
Yeah.
How long did you live here for? What did you do? Did you work? Were you a rigger? Were you a rig pig?
No, I was too scared to do any of that. I worked. I would go on the corner and trucks would come. Hold on, man.
Yeah.
Are we doing the interview right now?
We'll just we'd like to welcome to the show.
Wait, hold on a second.
What?
I gotta check this out.
What was a call?
Yeah, that's why he said hang on.
Oh, I don't know what he's talking
Well,
about.
it's time for the next interview. Great fucking job, Wills. Norm's funny. Did you know that?
Yeah, he was really funny. What did you do in Cali? Yeah, I just waited for a truck.
Hey, man.
Hey, Norm, how are you?
That was the guy that phoned me at the right time.
Oh.
Can we?
But
Do you
he
want?
gets punished.
Do we need to reschedule this or anything like that? Would that work?
No.
No.
I
Okay.
already told him to phone me back.
Okay. So when's he going to phone you back? Just so we have an idea.
Like a half hour.
Half hour? Oh,
Okay, that's
perfect.
cool.
Okay. So thanks for doing this. We appreciate it because
No problem.
yeah, we're fuck ups. All right. So we'll start it for real now then, I guess.
Yeah, welcome to Am I Right? Norm McDonald.
Hey, what's up? What did you call it? Am I right?
Am I
Yeah.
right? Yes.
Oh, that's a good name for a show. Who came up with that?
I think it was me. It wasn't you.
No, I think it was me.
It was me.
Let's just call it a team effort so we're not fighting in front of the company again,
Okay.
Jesse.
Sorry.
So yeah, you're talking to us. It's Am I Right? We're live out of Calgary, Alberta. You were saying that you've lived in Calgary before?
Yeah, I was talking to you before, remember?
Yeah. We called an hour late. That was us.
I remember. This was like 2 seconds ago. So, yeah, I used to live there. And then you asked me if I was a rigger, and then I said I was always too afraid to do that. Now, what I would do is I would go in the dead of winter, and I would go on the corners, and these trucks would come. And then you would get work for the day by jumping in the truck.
And so it was just paid for jumping in the truck, or
No, you had to work all day with the guy.
Oh.
Okay.
And then he would make a lot of money, and you would make minimum wage.
So was that all like cash? Did you have to pay taxes on that stuff, or was that just?
It was all cash.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, it was. But then you would spend it all that night, all the money, and then you would have to go the next day. But it was actually fun.
What kind of work do they have you doing? Like just telling jokes at job sites and stuff like that?
No, it was mostly it was mostly moving furniture. Sometimes you get like construction or something like that, but a lot of it was moving real awkward, heavy furniture around spiral staircases and stuff.
That sounds like a moving gig. I moved a lady once that had 3 grandfather clocks. Like that's not right.
One time I worked with this old man. They were a really tough guy, and then he was the driver, you know. And so we got to this place, and there was this. Every place we went to was like always hard to get stuff in, and this one was like impossible. So then I thought, oh great, we won't have to put it out. And it was, and then he figured out this way to like go up a balcony. So we put a ladder up to the balcony, and he went up top of the balcony, and we were moving this big fridge up. And then he had it like on a rope and all this stuff. So then we're going up. Like I'm at the bottom, I'm pushing it up. And this old, like 70-year-old, like, real tough old man, he's at the top pulling on the rope. And then I slipped off the ladder. So I looked up, man. I'll never forget it. And all his veins were coming. He was holding the whole fridge, and all his veins were coming out, and his face was like all red. He told me to give my head a shake afterwards.
Well, what could he expect? It was minimum wage.
Exactly. Some of those guys, man. One time I worked in this garbage truck, and so I thought it could be kind of fun, you know, because I've seen guys on the backs of garbage trucks. It seems like kind of fun, like. But the driver goes real fast, like you don't have that much time. And then also people will leave anything in their garbage, like it'll just be it'll be like sod or something. It'll weigh 200 pounds, or there'll be like a couch broken in half, or It was awful. And then at the end, we'd have to go to the dump, which was like the hell itself. Just fire and
What
rats.
what dump were you going to that was on fire, Norm? I want to go, actually.
All dumps have fires going.
Wow, this is news to me. I wasn't aware of the dump fire problem here in Calgary.
Oh, my God, are you kidding? You can go out there and shoot rats.
Could you get paid for it, though? Is that something that they pick you up to do at Cash Corner?
No, you get paid to go. You don't get paid to shoot the rats. No, but you can go there after hours with a .22 and fire at rats. I think it's legal.
So is that what's bringing you back then? You're coming to Calgary
Can't
next?
believe you guys don't know about that.
No, I mean I'm just new to Calgary, and this isn't something that's in the
I'll
in the
take
guides.
you out when I go there, man. We'll have a good old time at the dump.
Shooting rats.
Shooting rats and lighting fires. Jesse, do you have a .22? I'm in. I'm totally in. I'm not.
You know, the fire cooks the rats. Just saying.
No, we're not going to do anything that crazy. We'll get us a bottle of Cherry Jack and head down to the dump. Oh my
Wow,
God.
where do we take an interview from here?
We take it to the dump.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess that's where our show usually ends up. So
You guys play music?
No, am I right? We're a comedy show.
Yeah.
You've never heard of us before this moment?
Are you on the computer? Are you on Twitter?
We are. That's why everyone thinks we're assholes.
Well, you can't say that, man.
No, we can say that.
We're on
Okay.
late.
We're on late night. This is anything goes. So
Really?
if there's anything like ribald you want to get out of the way, I mean now is the time to do it. Our listeners just fall over themselves to hear that kind of stuff.
Why? What's the worst thing you can say?
The F word probably.
Why did you say it like that?
Well, we're not allowed to say it, but our guests are allowed.
I gotcha.
Norm, you can get a little blue. I mean, we've heard it before.
All right. I will, man.
Don't do it right now, though. Wait to surprise us with it.
Okay.
Surprise us with it. So, I mean, what can people expect then when you come to Calgary? Is this going to be stand-up? Are you going to be doing scat? Are you going to be doing impressions?
I'll do what I like, you son of a bitch. What? Is that too early?
So it's insult humor?
No, what am I going to do? I don't know. I just do kind of just talk, yammer on. Sometimes it's remotely entertaining.
You're really selling the show, Norm.
Yeah, this is definitely worth the $60 ticket, Norm. Thanks.
No, it'll be fun, man. People will be laughing. You bring what? Hey, bring your lady friend. Pick up a bottle of Cherry Jack on the way. Listen, and everyone's welcome. You know what I mean?
Well, you're in luck, though. Has anybody told you about the venue you're playing here in Calgary?
No.
I mean, it makes not it is the Bellagio. It's called Flame Central, as in the Calgary Flames.
It's not called Flame Central.
The hockey team bought a bar, and you're performing it.
And
what?
yeah, and it's amazing. Like, there's no doorknobs at the place. It's just Calgary Flames logos that you pull on to open things.
Wait, are you telling me the truth?
There's no word of a lie.
There's no lie here, Norm. Like, what does that do to your art form, do you think? Like, because I get embarrassed to walk through the doors of Flame Central. I can't imagine what it'd be like on stage.
Oh my God! People be twittering me all night long after that. After I do Flame Central.
Who's your manager? Fire him.
Wait, what? Wait, so you're serious? What? It belongs to the Calgary Flames?
Yeah, I mean,
it belongs to the entire hockey team.
Yeah, they kind of went in on it together. It's almost like that bar that Wayne Gretzky used to own, but it's owned by all the Calgary Flames.
Wait, Wayne Gretzky owned a bar in Calgary?
No, in Edmonton. In
oh, okay,
Edmonton.
yeah. Oh, I've been to that bar.
Was it good? No, he owns it in Toronto. Toronto, Wayne Gretzky's.
There's a Wayne Gretzky's in Toronto?
Yeah, haven't you ever been there?
No, I've never even heard of a Wayne Gretzky's. I remember when I was in Edmonton, I was at a bar that Wayne Gretzky was an owner of, but it wasn't called Wayne Gretzky's. But that's a good idea. That's like Mickey Mantle's in New York. No, not Mickey Mantle's. What do they call it in New York? Is it Mickey Mantle's? Yeah, I guess.
We've never been there.
Yeah, no, my dad always wanted to go to Jack Dempsey's restaurant in New York because my dad was really old, when he had me. He had me when he was 50, so he remembers all that old stuff. Whatever.
Hey, speaking of that, we were doing some research for this show, and we were watching YouTube, of course, which is kind of our saving grace. And there was a story you had told about your father and Bill Cosby on David Letterman. Do you think you could share that with us here right now?
I remember that. Yeah, that was when I opened for Bill Cosby.
Right.
You want me to tell you the story?
Yeah, tell the story. It was terrific.
No, I opened for Bill Cosby at this college. So. There's 100,000 people at the college, It's the University of Oklahoma. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, for sure. Like 100,000 people to see your show, Norm, or just...
No, to see Bill Cosby.
Oh, to see Bill Cosby.
I was opening for him.
Oh, okay.
So, it's a football stadium, So they have this little tiny, stage, and so I went up there, and I had my suit on and everything. And then I talked, and no one laughed. They were all just talking to each other. I don't think they even noticed me on stage, And they didn't mind that I was on stage, but they they didn't boo or anything. I don't even think they saw me. So I finished my thing, and then I got off, and Bill Cosby came up, and he was wearing, and he talks just in little. He talks he doesn't use full sentences. So he said, why, I was wearing a suit, he goes, why this suit, suit, or something like that. So I said, no, I was trying to show the respect, Bill Cosby goes, college, wear the sweatshirt and the pants, so he just had a sweat suit on, So, anyways, he says, this shows you how good Cosby is. He's like, he was asking the girl, from the student union or whatever, he goes, what's going on here, So she goes, well, next week we're playing Tulsa, and it's a big game, So then he goes on stage and he goes, we're playing Oklahoma State. He goes, Oklahoma State! So everyone cheers, right? Then he goes, Tulsa! And then everyone boos. And then he says it slower. He goes, Oklahoma State! And then everyone goes crazy. He goes, Tulsa! He does this 6 times, and the audience is going insane by the end of it, cheering and booing. And then at the end he goes, next week I'll be playing Tulsa, and I'll be doing that bit in reverse. Then he laughs. Everyone laughs. So then they loved him. They didn't even notice I was on stage. And so anyway, then the show ends. And then I'm talking to him, and I was telling him, because when I grew up, my dad and I would listen to Bill Cosby albums. He would love Bill Cosby, my dad. So I said, my dad loves you. He goes, where's your dad live? And I said, Ottawa. He goes, Ottawa. And then he turns to his manager guy that was with him, and he goes, Maury, aren't we playing in Ottawa? When? I thought the schedule... So then the guy goes, yeah. He goes, we're doing it in August. He goes, yes, take the man's name down, and we will. And so then he says, I will meet with your father, take him back, and we will speak. And I will put him in the front, because people like to be, and then after. And so just put the number down on the paper. So then, I go to write the number down, and it occurs to me that my father's dead. So, but I don't want to say that to Bill Cosby, So I just write down any fucking number. I just write the area code and then 7 digits. So that's the story. So then later, like a couple of months go by, and this also shows you like the power of like a guy like Bill Cosby. I was doing some lame thing on the Drew Carey show, you know, I was supposed to be a lawyer or something for one episode of the Drew Carey show. So I'm on the Drew Carey show. I'm rehearsing, and a lady runs up and she goes, "Bill Cosby's on the phone." You know. So I go, "What?" So I go and I answer the phone, and it's there, I swear. It's Bill Cosby. So I go, "Hello?" He goes, "Your father does not answer at the phone." I phoned the number, and the phone rang, and it then another voice came that was a machine, and it was a person saying that the number was not used by a person and all this, you know. So I'm like, instead of just telling him, I just said, "No, that's the number." That was all. I didn't know. It was impossible for me to say. But so anyway, that's the story. And then I told that story on Letterman once, and I guess Cosby saw it. And then the next day, this was when I was working on Saturday Night Live. The next day, I went to my office, and there was like 300 like things of flowers. There was flowers like everywhere in my office. And then and then about 5 days later, like I found there was a little tiny card on one of the flowers, and it said, I hate to be the one to break. I'm doing his voice, but it said, "I hate to be the one to break it to you, but your father is long since dead." So that's the story. God damn, that was a long story.
But it was good. It was good. Have you had any contact with Dr. Cosby since then, Norm?
The doctor, yeah, Dr. William H. Cosby, E.D.
Yeah, that's him.
No, I've never talked to Bill Cosby since then, but I love that guy.
That's so amazing.
And it was a great impression too. If I don't mind saying that, really, are we going to see lots of impressions from you when you're here in Calgary? And
oh yeah, no. You won't see any impressions.
Do you get people still yelling out for you to do, you know, a Burt Reynolds or something like that, or
like
a Bob Dole?
Yeah, I do.
And what do you do it, or do you just?
No, I don't really know how to do them. Like a lot of it is when you're on Saturday Night Live, they put a big giant mask on your face that looks exactly like the guy, so that helps. So you look so much like the guy that, you know, if you approximate an impression, it's pretty good. But like I'm not like Daryl Hammond or those guys. Like, you know, a lot of the when I was a kid, I'd do impressions because Rich Little did impressions. And I would do impressions of him doing impressions. I wouldn't know who the guy was. It'd be like Jimmy Cagney or something. I'd never heard of him, but me and my buddies would, you know, do Jimmy Cagney. So, but no, sometimes people do yell that stuff out, though. They'll go like Bob Dole, you know, like I'm going to do some guy that's, you know, hasn't been around in 8 years. So,
well, no, it's good to know that it was the brilliance of Rich Little that led to Dirty Work in the end. I'm glad that I can draw the line from point A to point B.
Well, Rich Little has this really funny thing. If you want to see something funny, I mean funny in a bad way, it's he did A Christmas Carol, Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
And he plays every character in it. And I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but it was so funny. So he's like, and it's just anyone he could do, you know? So they're not even guys from the right time frame that lived at the same time. So it'll be like Tiny Tim is Paul Lynde, you know, and Marley is Nixon and stuff, you know. So it's like, he's like, it's like a horrible Nixon impression he does. And so, you know, it's like, Tiny Tim, go and get me a goose. And it's like, okay, I will, you know. Forget it. But
I
if
think-
you guys have the capacity with your computers to find that kind of stuff.
I think it's on Twitter.
Yeah, you should try to Twitter that.
I think that's something. I think you could do that. I mean, that would be. I think you should remake the Rich Little Christmas Carol.
That would be kind of cool, actually.
It'll go viral. Like you could do it with, but just all Burt Reynolds and David Letterman as Scrooge. Speaking of videos going viral, one thing that we've gotten some play out of here on Am I Right is your roasting of Bob Saget. How did you come up with such wonderful jokes, Norm?
Well, I got him out of a book. There's this book called there's this book that my dad had that I guess he left me, but it was in my library, and it's a book about how to make fun of people at any event,
Right.
like a retirement party, or or anything really, you know. But this particular jokes I got were from it was all from the retirement party section,
Right.
and so I thought that would be easier than figuring out jokes and stuff.
And it was probably better. That went over a lot better than the rest of the dirty jokes. I think that went on in that show.
Well, yeah, it's very hard to like I love Gilbert, Gilbert Gottfried.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my favorite comedians, and I knew I couldn't be anywhere close to as funny as him with dirty jokes. So I didn't want to do dirty jokes. So I had to think of a lateral move. But I didn't even want to do it, but Saget was my buddy, so I said I'd do it for him. He kept phoning me every goddamn day.
Was it because he knew that you would just go easy on him with those dusty old jokes? Is that what it was?
No, I think he was in trouble getting guys. In the old days, in the Dean Martin roast and stuff, it would be giant stars, on those things. It'd be Sinatra and Rickles and Sammy Davis and all these guys. And on these roasts now, it's just nightclub comics,
I thought you were going to say people from Night Court.
It's like Richard Mall.
Actually, I'd watch that, I think.
You'd watch Richard Mall get roasted by Larroquette.
Yeah, yeah, that would be amazing. Imagine, have you ever seen Harry Anderson do his insult card tricks?
His what?
His insult card tricks?
Insult.
Yeah, like he does like these big gags based around, sleight of hand.
Yeah.
And calling people jokers and stuff like that. It's nuts. It's so good, Norm.
I think I know what you're talking about. You mean his act where he does he's like a con man kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, I've seen it on TV. Yeah. Right.
Not in person?
And then that's the character he sort of did on Cheers, remember? What? You remember the Cheers guy when he was on the show Cheers?
Jesse, you remember that probably.
Cheers is a black hole for me. I don't know.
We're just young guys, Norm. What's Cheers?
You don't even remember the name of that show?
No, what's Cheers?
Where everybody knows your name.
Never heard of it. Was that on CTV?
Yeah, it was on Global.
Oh, we didn't get Global.
Oh yeah, Global. That's right. Global's only in Ontario.
Yeah.
It was no. When I was there, let me tell you about CTV from the old days.
Yeah. Hockey on Wednesday nights.
Well, when I listened to hockey, it was on the East Coast, and it was Danny Gallivan and God, I can't remember the guy's name now. Dick
Irvin.
Oh yeah, you remember? Yeah, his dad was a great hockey player. Yeah, Dick Irvin. So you remember?
Yeah.
How do you remember
I don't know.
Our dads don't shut up.
Yeah. We got yammering fathers.
that? But like I always tell people here, when I was a kid watching Hockey Night in Canada, that show, I remember reading, it would get like about 80% of the country would be watching that show.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people here, like, no, you can talk about your ratings, but you can't get a show that old people would watch, married people would watch, kids would watch, drunk guys would watch, everybody. That was like the show.
Do you find yourself sticking up for Hockey Night in Canada to people a lot down there?
Hey man, you know what's bad about down here is their hockey. They never have hockey. It's like almost impossible to get. It's on stupid, weird networks. Meanwhile,
Like
they show all these stupid sports all the time. So annoying. But anyways, they don't have remember in the old days, you guys know you're too young, but they used to have them big dishes.
Yeah,
You could actually just aim them at the sky and get shit. Get stuff. So maybe back then I would be able to aim my dish at the sky and get a Canadian. But now they don't have that. They just have the little packages, and they don't got hockey.
But so you were going to say something about CTV, though. You were going to talk about being CTV watcher as...
No, when I was very young, the host of The National was Harvey Kirk. Now, when I was young, this was Canadian show business. They'd have a show, and the host of the show, like they had this one show called Elwood Glover's Luncheon Date. Right? And that was a talk show. So this guy, Elwood Glover, the guy was a 75-year-old man,
Yeah.
super old man, and then he would just interview guys very politely, and I think he would even like have sandwiches for them or stuff. And it was funny because it's just they would give a guy a job that had been around a long time, like because it was the Canadian government, They didn't care if he was telegenic or anything, And clearly, a man that old shouldn't be on the television, But anyway.
And is that where your showbiz dreams were born, Norm?
No.
If he can make it.
No, I actually didn't think of there was any such thing as show business. Actually, in a way, like when we did stand-up, when we started doing stand-up at Yuck Yucks and stuff,
yeah,
in Toronto, the stand-ups were probably, I think they were better than when I came to the States, for sure, because we never thought there was anything outside of stand-up. We just did stand-up. Like, there was no show business. See, Canada didn't have any show business. And here in America, of course, everybody's just doing stand-up as trying to get something else from the stand-up. You know what I mean?
So were you doing stand-up? Were you making your living off stand-up at this point, or were you doing stand-up and working, moving telephone? Or...
No, I was making my living. Like Mark Breslin, who did Yuck Yucks, had a really good operation where he would fly us all over, and we'd get to stay in hotels and stuff, and do stand-up. And then, also, if you got good, you'd get to be the headliner. Whereas here, you can't be a headliner unless you do TV and stuff. So there's a lot of really good comics here that can't get work because it's all about their credits and stuff like that. But in Canada, it was just if you got better, then all of a sudden you got to be the guy that went on last.
So what made you go down to the States then? If things were going so well in Canada, what was it? What was it that sent you down there to begin with?
There was a guy. I did the Montreal Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy there that said, "Hey, if you come to the States, you can get more money like doing stand-up." So I said, "All right." So then
minimum wage plus
a week
two.
Later, I went. A week later, I left for the States. Oh, there's the president. The president's making an address
right now. Are we keeping you from it?
Oh, wait a sec, man. Have you guys already talked to me a half an hour? Hold on.
I think did he just click over to another call?
Yeah. But this is good. It's funny.
It's funny stuff.
Just hearing the man talk.
Hey, guys, I got to go do this other thing.
All right, cool,
Well,
Norm.
thanks for being on,
Thanks
Norm.
for being on. We appreciate it.
Hey, help me on anytime. Give me a call any old time.
Oh, we're going to hold you to that, bud.
All right, baby.
All right.
I know.
That was amazing.
It's a great interview.
When you hear the word classic,
we mean it.
yeah.
It's no joke.
No. Well, actually, it is a joke because it was hilarious.
You're right, Wills.
But what did you think of that Bill Cosby story?
It's a classic, and it's like the 5th time I heard it.
Yeah.
It's still funny.
Yeah, I'm proud of this, and hopefully, listener, you're proud to be a listener to the show because it was hilarious.
You know what? Tell your pals. Like, my dad likes Norm. Tell my dad.
Yeah, my dad doesn't know who Norm is. I'd be like, oh, Dad, you should know who Norm is. Listen to our podcast.
Yeah, tell my dad. Tell Wills' dad. Heck, even tell your own dad.
Yeah, if you have someone you want to have us tell, am I right at cjsw.com, cjsw.com/podcasts.
Be the 64th fan on Facebook.
That's right, and add us on Twitter now. Am I right, CJSW? Is that what it is?
Yep.
Excellent. So check it out. Thanks for listening to the Am I Right podcast. Tune in next week for
Hopefully for a live one.
it's going to be a whole new interview, and if it's not all new, it's going to be new to you on Jess's Best plus Evan.
Just as best picks part 2.
And so we'll see you next week on Am I Right podcast number 6.
Okay, bye!
You have been listening to a CJSW podcast. For more podcast initiatives, visit our website at cjsw.com/podcasts.